Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching Georgia Beer Reviews. Back at you today with another one. And I've got Mr. Bumpy Road Brews with me.
Cheers.
Got a special one, I think. It's a $20 bottle, so hopefully it's really good. This is from Treehouse Brewing. This is the Space-Time Continuum Ultimate Coconut. So it is an amplified version of their beloved barrel-aged coconut stout, featuring 100% pure barrel-aged truth, which is another stout of theirs. And then that beer was aged for 18 to 22 months in carefully selected Buffalo Trace barrels. Buffalo Trace makes some excellent bourbon, so I'm really excited about this. 18 to 22 months is a good run. To create this beer, we began by conditioning it upon premium roasted cacao nibs, followed by an extended rest on several hundred pounds of hand-toasted coconut. Lastly, we added a touch of house-roasted coffee to further complement the luscious flavors of chocolate and coconut interwoven throughout. The resulting beer is a rich harmony of decadent coconut fudge, bourbon brownies, and creamy milk chocolate. We are proud of this beer and hope that you enjoy it as much as we did creating it. So one thing about these high-end Treehouse stouts, barrel-aged stouts, they don't list the ABV on the label or the website. We're probably looking at least 10%, but probably higher than that, you know,
Yeah.
12 to 14%.
The thing I
somewhere
found
in there.
interesting, first off, I mean, reading that, if you show people how small that literature is, it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
It's tiny.
But,
it's not even gonna.
You typically hear like cacao nibs, right? But this is the first time I think I ever heard roasted cacao nibs.
Conditioning roasted cacao nibs. Yeah, that is. Oh boy, look what we did. Look what I did. There we go. Okay, so you want to do the honors?
Sure.
That you almost cut yourself for the cause.
Almost. It's a little nick, but it just made it through the first layer of skin it appears. Oh, let's see how. Oh, yeah, dig it in there. Come on.
Come on, you
We
bastard.
did it.
All right.
Does that say something inside?
It does. What are you waiting for? That's what it says.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's there's zero head. That's just like thick motor
That
oil.
is syrup, motor oil. Yeah.
Like used too.
Yeah, used motor oil.
Let's even
Oh.
generate a head with this thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, look at that. If you had a camera pointing down, I mean that's just like it's got like the
Syrupy, viscous.
oh, that's as much head.
Look at that. Look at the swirl there. You see how thick and clingy that is to the side of the glass?
Yeah, there's the alcohol like those. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Those curtains are just staying. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just there.
There's a little bit of
It's
like
taint.
a beige head for a few seconds when I. There you go. Look.
It's
There
kind
you
of
go.
got the. It's kind of doing the thing where it has that little bit like when you make coffee,
Mhm.
and you add the cream and you stir it up, and it kind of has that white.
Yeah, I wish that you could see maybe there the top little creamy, tiny, thin film of head. The bourbon, the Buffalo Trace barrels. Wow,
I get the fudge.
and the fudge.
I get a berry note too.
I do as well. This smells incredible. I haven't had a stout like this in a while. I've been drinking a lot of the juicy IPAs lately.
I get almost a marshmallow smell too. Do you get that? Like that? Well, it's vanilla. Isn't
More
it?
vanilla
Yeah.
for me. They don't say anything. They don't add vanilla to this. I think it's the coconut.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That's what I'm picking. It's the coconut with the fudge and the bourbon notes all kind of come together to create almost like a vanilla. Oh my god, this smells amazing.
This is
So
gonna be thick though.
it is, but you know what? I wish they put the ABV because this has got to be like 14-15% just based off. I mean, it is
Yeah.
boozy and bourbony and it almost stings the nostrils a little bit, but in a good way. This is, man, this smells good.
Yeah,
I
I get like almost an almond smell out of it too.
A little almond extract.
Yeah.
It's very complex on the nose. It's got a really nice aroma.
I just killed off a bottle of Buffalo Trace too last week, so I have that kind of fresh in my mind. Cheers.
Oh, holy cow! The almond comes through on the palate. The roasted cacao nib thing. I think that's what that is.
Coconut is
Holy cow! Toasted coconut on the finish, and the barrel notes are throughout. They're throughout for me. This is
on the finish.
fantastic.
I get kind of what I get out of Buffalo Trace. It's cherry. There's a cherry note to me. Luckily, because in drinking Buffalo Trace, I pick out like a cherry, like Robitussin. It's like medicinal cherry. It's not coming off medicinal to me. I'm just picking up like a nice kind of
black cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I am as well. The for me, what sold this was the coconut. I was looking at the description on their website, ordered online, and they were just talking about all the toasted coconut and the fact that it was aged for 18 to 22 months in one of the best, if not the best, like standard bourbon, like bang for your buck bourbons. You can get a bottle of just the standard Buffalo Trace bourbon. From anywhere from like 18 to $22.99, somewhere in that price range, and then of course it goes up from there. But this is nice.
Yeah.
The coconut is definitely there. I always knock beers down like this if they don't have the coconut flavor. They bragged about the coconut on the label, and it's definitely delivering on the coconut. There's a little bit of that almond
it does have
nuttiness
that
as well.
Fudginess.
The fudginess.
A touch of like a kind of roasted coffee.
A little bit of the coffee, but you know what? For me, that's a good thing. A lot of these beers, I'm not a big coffee fan either. Not that I don't like the taste of coffee.
If there was a coffee that tasted like this,
I'd buy it. The problem with coffee, not that I hate coffee, but when you add it to beers like this, it's easy to overdo it, and then that's all you taste is the coffee. It overpowers all the other aromas and flavors. With this one, it's a very nice balance. You get a little bit of everything. And you were talking about the thickness, so you thought it was going to be really thick. What do you think about the body and the mouthfeel? It's a little on the thick side, but it's not like super syrupy. Like
it's not. No,
like
I've had some
that
was super like thick, like melted marshmallow or peanut butter, almost trying to drink that down. Thickness. It's got a stickiness, like it's got this viscous feel to it, but it's liquid enough that it still glides right down.
Yeah, and it doesn't linger so much.
Yeah.
And kind of stick to the sides of your cheeks and linger in an unpleasantly.
Yeah. I do get some
large
oakiness on the finish. Like if you don't drink it for a little bit, you kind of get that like oaky flavor on the tongue, on the palate.
I think they said bourbon brownies on the label. I think that's a really good, like a bourbon brownie. The fudge,
almost with like a raspberry swirl or some kind of berry swirl in it too.
Well, that cherry, kind of the way it mixes with the chocolate and the coconut. This is really nice, and actually, there's a little bit of carbonation too, which is, it's not like super effervescent or like prickly on the carbonation, but
it's like low side medium carb.
It does have a little carbonation. Sometimes you get these beers, especially the ones that are aged for as long as this is, and they're just flat. This one has a nice little carbonation to it.
This drinks like a stout. It doesn't drink like brownie batter or something like that.
Right. It doesn't drink like a pastry stout.
Yeah.
Sometimes you worry about. I'm not nothing against pastry stouts if that's your forte. If you like the pastry stouts, fine. But I stay away from the pastry stouts nowadays because they're too thick, too heavy. It's a one and done type deal, and I like to drink multiple beers in an evening. And if I drink a heavy pastry stout like that, I'm done.
What do you think the ABV is on drinking this now?
I would say between 13 and 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 14.1.
Because it's, the bourbon, the barrel presence is definitely there. Yeah. It is slightly boozy.
Slightly warming, but...
Warming, yeah.
Yeah, there's not like... It's not like... I'm not picking out like alcoholic like flavors, really.
Yeah.
Besides like talking about bourbon and stuff, you definitely get...
Right. Yeah, it's not it's not like unpleasantly boozy or anything like that, but you definitely can tell that this has got some kick to it in the ABV department. Treehouse, if you ever watch this video, please just start putting the ABV. At least give us a range like Dogfish Head does. I mean, even if it's like within 5%, I don't care. Give us something, because I'd really like to know a range with this. But yeah, it's definitely got to be up there. Anyway, I'm gonna go 98 out of 100. I think that, and it's not. It's close. I mean, I almost wanted to give it a 99, but I think that just the sweetness and with the coconut and everything that's going on, it's really excellent. But I think about some of the bourbon counties that I've had, and they're not quite as sweet, and a little bit more barrel presence.
And they have, I think, a bit more depth to them as well.
Yeah, like you get some of the tobacco, you get a little bit more of the roasted malt. This one, the coconut, like I love it. And 98 for me is world class.
The cacao's coming through, the coconut's coming
through. They did everything they wanted to do with this beer. I really have no complaints, but I'm just looking at some of the other beers I've had. It's definitely close, but I've had a lot of other barrel-aged stouts that can probably, they have a slight edge to this. But if you like coconut beers, this one delivers on the coconut for sure. The Buffalo Trace bourbon barrel aging for 18 to 22 months is on point. The fudge brownies, it's dessert. It's a lot more dessert-like than some of the bourbon counties, I think, too, which is why I'm knocking at the extra point, because I prefer a little bit less of the dessert. This one's very sweet and dessert-like. But it's not too thick, and it's world class for me. 98 is a world class rating for me. It's just it's a tough one.
I could drink this bottle by myself.
I could. Yeah, I could too.
It's also 11. It is a 12-ouncer. It just looks.
It's a 12-ounce. Yeah, Treehouse. That's one good thing about it. Yeah, I don't have to worry about the small bottles. They always hook you up with the full 12.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go with the 100 scale on this, so not to confuse everybody. I'd give this a 97.
97?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely excellent for me.
All right. So excellent.
Be in the high 40s.
Bordering on world class, but definitely very excellent. High A marks from both of us. Thanks for drinking this with me.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
So yeah,
Cheers.
that'll do it for this beer review, guys. More to come from the man cave. That's right. That'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. And until next time, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.